Well, here we are. Here we are. Let me go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, folks. Good morning. What's going on? What are we doing? As predicted. As predicted, we are in another unsanctioned war. Okay. Not declared by Congress. Not declared by Congress. However, this is war. This is war with Iran. This is not a 3-day special military operation, if you will. For all intents and purposes, we are at war with Iran. And, last night I was going to go live. I was chilling, watching Mercado Gaming on Resident Evil, and said, you know what? I'm just going to chill out. Enjoy my night. So I enjoyed my night. Hey, Gene. Alan, thanks for being here, guys. Just starting off. It's not going to be a long stream. It's going to be, we'll go for about an hour. I wanted to check on some of the reactions that are going on. A lot of mixed reactions and opinions, so I just want to go through them. I don't really feel like giving one right now. Don't really feel like giving one. I just want to kind of go through what other people are saying. First, we'll kind of brief on what's going on. I'm sure you guys are already heard on other news channels. The U.S. and Israel have conducted airstrikes on Iran. And some of them hit civilian targets from what it looks like. There are reports of a school that was hit. Allegedly, this is a school that says breaking. BBC and Reuters have confirmed. We'll cut the music. We'll have confirmed that a joint U.S.-Israel strike in Minab hits a girls' elementary school. Iranian officials say 40 students were killed and 48 injured. Iran retaliated immediately. Missiles and drones launched at Israel and U.S. bases across the region. I'm not going to play that video. Might be able to play some of the sound of it. Not gonna play the video, but it does look like a school was struck. Let's see where else we got. We've got reactions. News reactions. Here we go. Here is so this one. UK Prime Minister Starmer announces that the United Kingdom has entered the war against Iran. Let's see what he has to say here.
Earlier this morning, the United States and Israel struck targets in Iran. Iran has since launched indiscriminate strikes across the region. I know the British people and communities across our country will be deeply concerned about what this means for security and stability and for the fate of innocent people across the region, which for so many of us includes friends and family members. So whilst the situation is evolving very quickly, I want to set out our response. The United Kingdom played no role in these strikes, but we have long been clear the regime in Iran is utterly abhorrent. They have murdered thousands of their own people, brutally crushed dissent, and sought to destabilize the region. Even in the United Kingdom, the Iranian regime poses a direct threat to dissidents and to the Jewish community. Over the last year alone, they have backed more than 20 potentially lethal attacks on UK soil. So it is clear they must never be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon. That remains the primary aim of the United Kingdom and our allies, including the US. I condemn Iran's attacks today on partners across the region, many of which are not parties to this conflict. We extend our support and solidarity to them. As part of our commitments to the security of our allies in the Middle East, we have a range of defensive capabilities in the region, which we've recently strengthened. Our forces are active, and British planes are in the sky today as part of coordinated regional defensive operations to protect our people, our interests, and our allies, as Britain has done before, in line with international law. We've stepped up protections for British bases and personnel to their highest level. We are also reaching out to UK nationals in the region and doing everything we can to support them. I've been speaking with leaders today from the E3 and across the region. It is vital that we prevent further escalation and return to a diplomatic process. We want to see peace and security and the protection of civilian life. Iran can end this now. They should refrain from further strikes, give up their weapons programs, and cease the appalling violence and repression against the Iranian people, who deserve the right to determine their own future in line with our long-standing position. This is the route to de-escalation and back to the negotiating table. Thank you.
Yeah, a little bit from the Prime Minister right there. We got a lot of people coming in with takes. He relies on the Muslim votes. Potentially. So Iranian hackers are coming out and saying they're going to release the unredacted pictures of Donald Trump in the Epstein files. That's coming from multiple sources, that there's going to be a retaliatory release of some hacked photos, potentially. I'm sure the internet will flood with AI when that happens here in a few minutes. Let's see what else. We got some reactions. I just saved some reactions. My reactions. Here's a statement from Swalwell. I'm gonna turn the music. I need a little music this morning. I need a little music in the background this morning. Swalwell statement on U.S. strikes in Iran. Donald Trump swore no more wars, but after invading Venezuela and now striking Iran, we can count this as yet another broken campaign promise. And just like his pledge to lower prices, he broke them both. The people of Iran deserve freedom, but a free Iran cannot be an American export. It has to be built by their hands on their soil. No one voted for this action. No one. Mr. President, if you cannot keep your promise of peace, you should at least return the Nobel Prize you stole. Swalwell. I was 2 feet from Eric Swalwell at the No Kings protest in Sacramento. I looked over. He's cheesing right next to me. I was drinking water. I look over, just big old smile, hugging some old lady. I'm like, oh, Eric, fist bump. There were Iranians at this last Ukrainian rally too that I went to on the ground. See if I can pull that up in Discord real quick. See if I can navigate my own Discord, yeah? Ukraine news, I believe. All right, here. Join the Discord if you haven't, guys. Iranians showed up at the Ukrainian rally on the 24th, 4 days ago. That was a very emotional rally. That was a hard one. It was a really hard one for me. It was super emotional. Very powerful, very encouraging, and very somber. Very humbling as well. But yeah, pretty cool to see. Pretty cool to see. Let's see what other reactions we got from Al Green. Congressman Al Green recalls for reconvening of Congress to take up war powers resolution sponsored by Rokana and Massey. Here's the resolution. Media advisory and public notice. Congressman Al Green calls for reconvening Congress, take up war powers resolution sponsored by Kana and Massey. Houston, Texas, Saturday, February 28th. Congressman Al Green released the following statement. Our country is at war. Congressman Al Green stated the president has taken our country to war without Congress having weighed in. I'm calling on Speaker Johnson to reconvene the Congress to allow the war powers resolution, of which I am a co-sponsor, to be voted on. With Taylor Reed, this is more just prior to 7 a.m. Eastern Time. I had a conversation with the former chairperson, now the ranking member of the Homeland Security Committee, to discuss issues related to the war. I'll be in constant contact with him and other members of leadership as we proceed. At this time, I have more questions than answers. Among my many questions are: bullet point 1. By what authority has the president committed the country to war without Congress having declared war? Bullet point 2. What is the strategy? 3. Why were negotiations abruptly curtailed? Because they sent people that didn't know what the fuck they were doing to negotiate. Witkoff. Kushner. Will the strategy require boots on the ground? Who will govern Iran if the current government is taken down? Well, Reza Pahlavi, which we'll lead on to. We'll see what his reaction is as well. For sure. We already covered that. Reza Pahlavi going viral with some of his posts. And the people seem to love him. From at least what the algorithms fed us. Here's an old quote from Stephen Miller. Back in November 4th of 2024. If young men don't want to be drafted to fight in Kamala's and Cheney's Third World War, they better get out and vote for Trump. Coming from the neo-Nazi nutsack. Captain Mark Kelly says, people who never served are often the quickest to start dropping bombs without a plan for what's next. The American people have seen this play out before, and they're tired of it. Trump is sending our service members into harm's way without clear explanation or an end goal. Okay, here's the news feed. Breaking: Iranian hackers vow to publish alleged videos of Donald Trump with minors within the next couple of hours. That was 7 hours ago. That would be the end of Trump Jurgenod, it says. Kalen's got a take on it. I had to save his. Shout out to Kalen Robertson. Pretty amazing journalist. Very amazing journalist. Trump put Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff in charge of resolving the war in Ukraine and a standoff with Iran. Missiles still falling on Kyiv, and the Middle East erupts. This is what happens when you put two complete idiots in positions of power. Just cutting deals, right? Deal or no deal. Bomb or no bomb. We will shower you in gold, or we will shower you in bombs. Now, the biggest news of today, this right here is probably going to be, well, so far, as of 10:19 a.m., February 28th, 2026, Iran just announced the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Read that again. 20 million barrels of oil pass through the strait every single day. 15% of all liquefied natural gas on Earth transits the choke point. 1/5 of all global petroleum supply moves through a channel 21 miles wide, and it's at its narrowest between Iran and Oman. The IRGC Navy broadcast via VHF radio on February 28, 2026, that no vessels are allowed to cross. Every tanker captain in the Persian Gulf heard that transmission. Every oil trading desk on the planet priced it within minutes. Brent crude hit $120 a barrel intraday. That is the opening number. If a single tanker is struck, seized, or mined, the models go to 200. At $200 a barrel oil, at $200 oil, the global economy does not slow down. It seizes. Every factory in China that runs on imported crude, every airline that hedged at 85, every European nation that still has not replaced Russian gas and now faces LNG shortages through a closed strait. Every American who drives to work, the Strait of Hormuz is not an oil route. It is a cardiovascular system of industrial civilization. Iran just announced it is clamping the artery. Continuing. Iran has threatened this before. In 2019, it seized tankers. In the 1980s, it mined the strait during the tanker war. It has never declared full closure during an active military conflict with the two most powerful militaries on Earth simultaneously striking its territory. This is not posturing from a position of strength. This is the last economic weapon of a regime that has lost its air defenses, lost its generals, possibly lost its supreme leader, watched its missiles intercepted over 6 countries, and has exactly one card left to play. The geographic accident that puts 21 miles of water between the world and its energy supply. The U.S. Fifth Fleet is headquartered in Bahrain. The USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group holds station in the Gulf of Oman. American destroyers carry enough Tomahawk cruise missiles to sink every IRGC fast boat, submarine, and coastal battery in the Persian Gulf in 48 hours. Iran knows this. The announcement is not a military strategy. It is a suicide note dressed as a threat. Because the moment Iran fires on a tanker, the United States does not negotiate. It executes Operation Praying Mantis at 10 times the scale, and the IRGC Navy ceases to exist as a functioning force. Iran is not closing the strait. Iran is daring America to open it by force. And every oil trader on Earth knows how that ends. Not with negotiation, with wreckage on the seafloor and crude flowing by morning. Guys, we're looking at probably an economic disaster. An eco disaster. Complete destabilization in the Middle East. And this is going to occur within the next 24 hours to 48 hours. So get your popcorn. We're just getting started. The first 24 hours were Israel. The next 24 hours are America. Ooh. This is going to get intense. This isn't a small act. UK energy prices are bad enough as it is. Dude, it's like $4.79 a gallon here where I live in California. Here's an Iranian drone and hit a building in Iran, or in Bahrain. Bahrain, sorry. Shaheds are firing. You know, these Shaheds seem to just be doing whatever they want. Like, I thought they would have better air defense in the Middle East from these, but I think the Russian technology might be absolutely increasing the abilities of these drones. I feel like that's the case. What does Nancy Pelosi have to say? President Trump's decision to initiate military hostilities into Iran starts another unnecessary war, which endangers our service members, which he said, well, people are going to die, and destabilizes an already fragile region. He's okay with it, though, right? The Constitution is clear. Decision that led our nation to war must be authorized by Congress. We got news. Senator Chuck Schumer is calling for Congress to return to Washington immediately to vote on a war powers resolution over Iran. pushing for a legislative check on military action after strikes.
Ali, for some time this been texting with sources, and one of them just came back to me to say that Senator Chuck Schumer is calling for Congress to come back to town as soon as possible and to hold a vote on the War Powers Resolution that was already likely to be slated, Ali, for some time this week, sponsored in part by Senator Tim Kaine. We've seen them try to make headwaves on things like this in the past. They did one on Venezuela. It ultimately failed. Now they're trying to do one on Iran, and they're doing it, of course, now in the wake of these massive strikes launched by the Trump administration. Been texting with sources, and one of them.
All right, so it looks like the Democrat leadership is calling for reconvening in the House, calling for Congress to come back for the War Powers Resolution, and it's probably not going to happen. These Iranians are amateurs sending these single Shahed drones into cities. So this is Dubai. Dubai got hit, guys. Dubai.
Jet. Oh my God.
A little taste of what's going on. A little taste of what's been going on in Ukraine for how long now? Dubai, though. Dubai getting a freaking Shahed is crazy work. I did not plan on seeing a Shahed drone land in Dubai this morning. I didn't even see that last night. €6 to $6.15 per gallon in the EU. Holy cow. Alright, so we covered that. What we got? Rokana coming out.
The Congress must reconvene. Donald Trump has launched a war on Iran. The Congress must reconvene on Monday to vote on Thomas Massie and my War Powers Resolution to stop this war. Trump says his goal is to topple the Iranian regime. But the American people are tired of regime change wars that cost us billions of dollars and risk our lives. We don't want to be at war with a country of 90 million people in the Middle East. Every member of Congress must go on record today on how they will vote on Thomas Massie and my War Powers Resolution.
Israel and America can destroy, but they cannot win, not without boots on the ground. That's a fact. Yeah. And where would Iran be? Bahrain naval base. That would be like the perfect launching point for a ground invasion, wouldn't it? Or through Pakistan. But the Pakistanis are messing with Afghan. I don't know if they're in the position to host us. But it won't stop without boots on the ground. I don't know if boots are going to be on the ground. It's the geological area of Iran makes it very secluded from that. But if let's just bring it up on the map. Very, very good take. Who was that just said that? Anyways, Avusto, thank you for commenting. Let's pull up the map real quick just to get a peek-sees, yeah? Just so we know where Iran is, yeah? So we got Iran. To the left, you have Iraq. You have an area with Turkey, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan to the right of Iran. Then you have Pakistan to the southeast. I believe this is extremely rough territory, if I understand. But then over here, you've got Dubai right on the tip. You have Qatar, the Qatarians, and Trump here, which could play a key role. You have Bahrain. Can you see 10,000 Marines going across the Persian Gulf right here into Iran? Good old-fashioned amphibious assault. I have no clue what the terrain looks like here. But I would imagine it gets very more mountainous in this area here between Afghanistan, right here in Pakistan. Then you have Tehran way up here. This would be, I mean, this would be the ultimate target. But that's pretty secure. You have the Caspian Sea above it with tons of lithium ion underneath it. You got Kazakhstan above it. That's tough. But, I mean, just think, we were able to wage war with boots on the ground in Afghanistan, and that looks like even a tougher position. So, I'm not buying into there can't be a ground invasion. I'm not buying into that due to the geographics, because we did it in Afghanistan, and look where Afghanistan is. It's the same shit, except Iran's way better equipped, way bigger. However, there are tons of Iranians right now that are supporting this. It's all over. It's hard, you can't ignore it. There's thank you letters on the floor, on the streets of the cities in the United States right now saying thank you, Trump. So this isn't war in Ukraine where it's black and white. This is the Middle East, and shit is gonna get weird. Everybody's gonna have a different take. That's why we're checking out some of the takes. Special Hair Song Cat posted this also. Iran carried out new ballistic missile launches. I don't know the validity of this. Yeah, Iran is a next level country. Like, I think people have a hard time grasping the size of it. They just think it's some other little Middle East country. It's not. It's huge. It's huge and it's capable. But right now with the civil unrest, right now with the protests and the people that are being shot in the streets, it might be enough for them to topple the government, but I don't know. Is it going to be boots on the ground with us? Is the Ayatollah dead too? That's what I want to know. There's reports that he was killed. Iran is about the size of Alaska. That's fucking huge. That's 10 Californias. That's huge. All right, watch that. What else? Let's see. We haven't checked into Reza Pahlavi. If I could spell right today, that'd be cool. Where's his official page? I know he's on X. These aren't his official pages. There we go. This is 11 hours ago. We got more statements. We're here 11 hours ago. We're going to listen to Pahlavi a little. Ah. It's not dubbed. Okay, I'll dub it. Holy cow. Holy cow. That's a big statement. See if I can do this. Let's see if I'm skilled. My dear compatriots, moments of destiny lie ahead. I can't do both. I can't do both. I can't chew in I can't walk and chew bubblegum. The aid that the President of the United States promised to the brave people of Iran has now arrived. This is a humanitarian intervention, and its target is the Islamic Republic, its repressive apparatus, and its machinery of slaughter. Not the country and the great nation of Iran, even though they just blew up a bunch of kids. But even the arrival of this aid, the final victory will still be forged by our hands. It is we, the people of Iran, who will finish the job in this final battle. The time to return to the streets is near. Now the Islamic Republic is collapsing. My message to the country's military, police, and security forces is clear. You have sworn an oath to protect Iran and the Iranian people, not the Islamic Republic and its leaders. Your duty is to defend the people, not a regime that has taken our homeland hostage through repression and crime. Join the people and help bring about a stable and secure transition. Otherwise, you will go down with Khamenei's sinking ship and his regime. And my message to the President of the United States, President Trump, is this. The noble people of Iran, despite the savage repression and massacres of this regime, stood firm with courage for nearly 2 months. 2 months of slaughter. I now ask that you exercise the utmost caution to preserve the lives of civilians. Oh yeah, I'm sure Israel listened to that. And my compatriots. The people of Iran are your natural allies and those of the free world, and they will never forget your support in the most difficult period in contemporary Iranian history. And to you, my dear compatriots in Iran, in these sensitive hours and days, more than ever, we must stay focused on our ultimate goal, reclaiming Iran. I ask you to remain in your homes for now and preserve your safety and security. Stay vigilant and ready so that at the appropriate time, which I will announce to you precisely, you can return to the streets for the final action. Dude, this is insane. This is insane, dude. Follow my messages through social media and satellite media. If there are disruptions to the internet and satellite, I will stay in touch with you via radio waves. We are very close to final victory. I want to be by your side as soon as possible so that together we can take back and rebuild Iran. Long live Iran. Reza Pahlavi. February 2026, 11:33 p.m. last night. So, this is just, we live in such a crazy time. 9 hours ago, my dear compatriots, decisive moments lie before us. The assistance that the President of the United States has promised to the brave people of Iran has now arrived. This is the same thing. He just reposted it. Yeah. Yep. Reposted. Okay. Reposted it. That was the last comment from him, huh? Yep. That's the last update. That's the last time, last we've heard from Reza Pahlavi right now. Who else can we check in on? Who else can we... Oh, what do we got here? Fetterman. Oh. Fetterman. Committed Democrat here. I'm a hard no. My vote is Operation Epic Fury. You're not a Democrat. You should be committed. Fetterman's just a cuck. He's a shill for Trump. Tulsi Gabbard, no war with Iran? What? Oh, this is 2020. January 7th, 2020, Tulsi Gabbard. No war with Iran. The internet doesn't forget Tulsi. Oh, God. What we got here? The most powerful warship ever built just disappeared? What? The USS Gerald Ford, 100,000 tons of nuclear-powered floating sovereignty, carrying over 75 aircraft and crew, 4,500 switched off its transponder and vanished from public tracking system on Earth. The most advanced aircraft in human history is somewhere in the eastern Mediterranean, and only people who know its exact coordinates are the ones giving the orders. When a carrier goes dark, it is not hiding, it is hunting. The Ford has been deployed for 241 consecutive days. If this operation extends through April, it will become the longest carrier deployment since Vietnam. The U.S. Navy does not break 50-year records for deterrence. It breaks them for war. And the Ford is not alone. The USS Abraham Lincoln holds station in the Arabian Sea with a second full carrier air wing, escort cruisers, and destroyers carrying enough Tomahawk cruise missiles to reshape the geography of Iran's coastline. 2 carrier strike groups, 16 warships confirmed in theater, 150 aircraft between them, 800 potential daily sorties. Damn. 40 to 50% of all deployable U.S. air power in the Middle East, concentrated in 2 floating air bases that Iran cannot see, cannot track, cannot reach. I wonder what China's thinking right now. I wonder how Taiwan feels. Now map the geometry. The Ford sits west of Iran behind Israel's air defense umbrella. I think they're just going to let him take Taiwan. An Iranian missile aimed at the Ford must first cross the most advanced integrated air defense network on the planet. The Lincoln sits south of Iran in the Arabian Sea, beyond the range of the most Iranian ballistic missiles, but within strike range of every target in the southern Iran, including the RGC naval bases that would enforce any Hormuz closure. Iran is bracketed west and south. Mediterranean and Arabian Sea. 2 carriers that can launch simultaneously strikes from 2 axes while remaining in waters where Iranian retaliation has to cross through Allied defense systems to reach them. Yep. This is not a defensive posture. This is a kill box built from aircraft carriers. This is wild. The Ford went dark because what comes next does not benefit from Tehran knowing the launch point. The F-22s already destroyed the air defenses. The first wave of strikes already hit the leadership. The RGC already fired in retaliation and hit 1 civilian with debris. Iran announced Hormuz closure via VHF radio, which we just discussed, and the U.S. Fifth Fleet did not respond with a statement. It responded by repositioning assets that made the RGC's Navy entire order of the battle obsolete. Iran threatened to close a 21-mile straight America Park 2 aircraft carriers on either side of the country that borders it. The Ford did not disappear. The Ford stopped telling Iran where to look because the next thing Iran sees from that ship will not be a transponder signal. It will be the sky filling with aircraft. We're here, guys. Representative Pat Ryan, I served 2 combat tours in Iraq. I've seen what happens when a lying chicken hawk president beats the war drums. I ran for Congress and serve on armed service committees because I refuse to let the country I love repeat those mistakes. It's why we passed the War Powers Act after Vietnam in the first place. So that before the president sends our troops into harm's way, he has to make his case to the American people. Trump hasn't done that. He hasn't explained his goals. He hasn't told you what it will cost, both in tax dollars and, God forbid, our kids coming home in the flag-draped coffins. Shit. That's why corresponding Congressman Connett and Congressman Massey war powers resolution, and why I'm calling for a vote immediately to force an honest conversation as a country about what comes next to stop yet another forever war. We cannot repeat. Oh, hold on, I can't go down there. We cannot repeat the approach from 2001, 2002. The answer cannot be, we'll figure it out as we go. I lost too many friends because of that logic. As I said, after the attack on Iran's nuclear sites last June, airstrikes may start a war. They rarely end it. This is an iconic moment. Happened a few months ago. How she did that without catching her hair on fire, I don't know. She lit that cigarette, that's for sure. What we got? What's Thomas Massey have to say? Oh wait, this is a while ago. This is what, January 31st? Within hours of the Epstein files release, a super PAC funded by Israel first billionaires Miriam Adelson, Paul Singer, and John Paulson, who himself appears in Epstein Black Book, bought another $800,000 of TV ads against me. It's kind of old news. All right, what does Zelensky got to say? 2 hours ago from President Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine. Events in the Middle East and the Gulf region are rapidly taking shape. Unfortunately, Ukraine knows all too well what these events entail. Although Ukrainians have never threatened Iran, the Iranian regime has decided to side with Putin and supply him with the Shahed drones. Not just the drones themselves, but the technology. Iran has also provided Russia with other weapons. In total, throughout the full-scale war, the Russians have used more than 57,000 Shahed-type attack drones against our people, our cities, and our energy infrastructure. Other countries have also suffered from terrorism. Therefore, it is only fair to give the people of Iran the opportunity to rid themselves of the terrorist regime and ensure the security of all nations that have suffered from terrorism originating from Iran. Our position is entirely clear, and Ukraine has stated it many times, including recently. Preserving human lives to the greatest extent possible is crucial. Preventing the spread of war is crucial. It is crucial that the United States acts decisively. Whenever America is determined, global criminals are weakened. This understanding must reach the Russians as well. Should have happened a long time ago with the Russians. People may not know that the day or the hour, but every evil terrorist and aggressive act against neighbors will ultimately face a just response. We expect that the Middle East region will eventually become safer and more stable. For now, many changes have occurred in pursuit of that goal. Ukraine is ready to help any nation increase its security and justice while diminishing terrorist regimes. If any nation could stop the Shahed drones, it's going to be Ukraine. They are the content experts on that situation. So if the Shahed drones continue out of Iran, Zelensky says they are willing to help. Here's a strike. So this is right now, Shahed drones are yet again striking the U.S. Navy's main headquarters in Bahrain. This is 1 hour ago. Bahrain. I keep pronouncing it wrong. Bahrain Naval Base. Catching some heat. Okay. All right, we're going to read this. Shanaka Aslam Pereira. They did not bomb Iran. They waited for Iran's entire leadership to sit down in the same room, and then they bombed Iran. Months of intelligence, thousands of hours of surveillance and signal intercepts. One variable, the moment the supreme leader, the president of senior military command, gathered in a single location at the same time. That moment was 8:15 this morning, daylight. Every previous Israeli strike on Iran came at night. June 2025 launched in darkness. October 2024 after midnight. Iran's entire air defense doctrine is built around the assumption that Israel attacks in the dark. Israel attacked in broad daylight because the target was not infrastructure. The target was a meeting. Reuters confirms strikes targeted Khamenei and Pezeshkian. CNN confirms months of joint U.S.-Israeli planning. Israeli officials confirmed the strike hit the locations where Iran's top officials were gathered. Whether Khamenei was moved from that strike or extracted after is the most consequential unknown of the planet right now. So chances are they're probably gone. Has anybody confirmed yet that the Ayatollah has been killed? If before, someone inside Tehran's inner circle told Jerusalem when and where the meeting would happen, or they could just use that new technology. They've got so much new shit with AI. Like, there's no hiding from this. There's no hiding from it. If after the strikes hit the room and he survived, both scenarios are catastrophic for the regime. Because Iran's leadership now knows three things. Israel knew where they were meeting. Israel knew when they were meeting. Israel knew who would be in the room. And everything we watched over the past month, the F-22s and Avda, the tankers at Ben Gurion, Al Udeid emptied to zero, 270 transport flights, all of it was the delivery architecture for one precision strike on one gathering. So you're gonna have people that got paid off for sure. They see what direction this is going. They don't want anything to do with it. Pay me. Every future meeting of Iran's senior leadership now carries one question. Does Israel know about this one too? This is not a military operation. This is the destruction of institutional trust inside a regime. Every general who sits with Khamenei tomorrow will wonder who told Jerusalem about today, if he's alive. Every IRGC commander who receives a meeting summons will calculate whether attendance in duty or a death sentence. Every secure facility in Tehran has been proven insecure. If he lived, he's headed to Russia. In June 2025, Israel killed 30 generals in the opening minutes. That was brute force across dispersed targets. This was a scalpel. One meeting, one moment, months of patience. Iran fired missiles at 6 countries in retaliation, most intercepted. 1 civilian dead from debris in Abu Dhabi. Saudi Arabia has responded by pledging all its capabilities against Iran. Holy fuck, dude. The Gulf coalition that did not exist yesterday exists today because Tehran built it by attacking everyone simultaneously. Israel traded one morning of precision strike for the permanent destruction of Iran's command cohesion. This is not a battle. That is checkmate disguised as a first move. Very good takes. Very good takes coming out of here. This is coming from the author of The Ascent Begins, independent analyst, money, geopolitics, AI, science, and sovereignty, mapping the collapse and the reconstruction of order. Follow you, sir. Russia's failed dictators club. Here we go. The first ship is turning around. According to marine traffic, the Indian flagged crude oil tanker Desh Abhiman just made a 180-degree turn next of the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, this is going to get wild today, guys. We're looking at a naval battle. Well, naval slaughter. I don't know who this is. Gocha Gozadze. Who is this? Georgian activist. He's a Georgian activist, IR, and security enthusiast. Former lecturer at Gyeonfe Youth Summits. Committed to a free democratic Euro-Atlantic Georgia, NAFO. What does he have to say? I believe that if in the coming weeks or months, Russia loses the Iranian regime as a strategic ally, it will mark a decisive shift not only for Ukraine, but for the countries like Georgia that have lived under the shadow of Russian aggression for generations. Iranian drones have killed thousands of Ukrainian civilians and soldiers. They have struck hospitals, schools, and energy infrastructure, leaving families in darkness and freezing homes in winter. Iran has been one of the primary suppliers of Russian war machine. Weakening that pipeline weakens the Kremlin's capacity to wage war. For Georgia, this is not abstract geopolitics. Our national survival depends on Russia failing in Ukraine. If the Kremlin succeeds there, no country on his periphery is safe. If it fails, space opens for stability and rules-based order. It is therefore deeply troubling when Georgia's illegitimate ruling party publicly declares that regime change in Iran is not in Georgia's interest, while simultaneously projecting symbolic solidarity with Tehran. A small nation bordering Russia cannot afford ambiguity about where it stands. Europe must act. The Ukrainian sky should be closed to Russian missiles and drones with the same resolve that the United States demonstrates in protecting Israel from Iran's aerial threats. Facts. Finally, many Iranians see decisive military measures against their regime as necessary, just as many Georgians support sanctions on officials who undermine our country's democracy and future, because when internal accountability collapses, external mechanisms sometimes become the only remaining check. Take from Georgia. Stephen King's even getting in there. Under Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution, only Congress has the power to declare war, as well as to raise and support armies, provide and maintain a navy, and fund and regulate the military, impeach the SOB. I think he does have, correct me if I'm wrong, he does have a window where he can do strikes on the country without declaring war. We just saw it in Venezuela, right? Boots on the ground is going to take Congress. I don't think Congress will. Well, you never know. God. We'll have to see. Unless they start arming the Iranians, the resistance, the diaspora, the people. The irony, Dubai being the city in which the wars never existed, a city that permitted free passage to the Russians, a city that was the center of the influencer which always said nothing against the war, is now being attacked by Shahed in Center City. I hope everyone is okay. Dang, CENTCOM forces freaking unclassified already? Where's the Epstein files? Keith Olbermann, Operation Epic Fury because Operation Epstein Diversion didn't sound warfightery enough. I'm dead. Channel 12's Ahmet Segal reports that 30 munitions were dropped in the strike. Khamenei's relatives and his military secretary were killed, and the Khamenei is almost certainly dead. Well, we gotta see. We're gonna find out here within the next 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours, I'd imagine, whether or not Khamenei's dead. I don't think has anybody seen verification? I'll hit home again. Nope, nothing yet. All right. There's an hour of takes. You got reactions around. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I missed anybody's reactions that we wanted to hear from. We heard from Zelensky. We heard from Congress. At least, I guess we could look. I don't want to look into MAGA Congress. This is going to be cocking him. Dude. Oh, the internet, dude. Wow. Okay, John Bolton on Iran.
I know you support these strikes, but obviously there's going to be a lot of the president's supporters and people in the United States who listen to what he said on the campaign trail and certainly what he said in his first term and say, you know, this is the president who said he was against regime change in the Middle East, that he was against starting new wars. What do you make of what would you say to them tonight?
Well, I think they made the mistake of believing that Donald Trump had a consistent philosophy, national security strategy, and policy, which he doesn't. My only regret is that I wasn't persuasive enough in the first term to get to this point.
In terms of the regime change that the president is calling for, I mean, we have no idea right now what is the status of Iran's supreme leader. But I think a key question is what would happen next if he is ultimately killed in this attack?
Well, I think at this point, really, the Revolutionary Guard is the governing force in Iran, and that's the element of state power that needs to be destroyed. I think that the division of labor between Israel and the United States makes a lot of sense, but I think the real unknown question at this point is how much we and the Israelis have coordinated with the opposition. What we need for the Iranians themselves to be doing is looking for weak links in the leadership, looking for the tensions and the fractures and the divisions that can pull the regime apart at the top and bring significant elements over to the side of the opposition so that at some point the military refused to fire on civilians. Even the Revolutionary Guard rank and file could break and come over. This is the kind of work behind the scenes that doesn't require us to tell the opposition what we're doing militarily, but requires us to be working with them. I'm not sure that's happening, and that's worrying.
Okay, so a lot of uncertainty still. Yeah, 37 minutes ago, it's getting reposted. Breaking: Israel's Channel 12 is reporting the Ayatollah is dead, almost certainly dead. That's not 100% yet. We're gonna say we're not sure yet. It's okay to say we don't know. We'll see Gabbard briefing the National Security Council the strikes this morning. Terrible. Well, we don't know. We don't know. Is the Ayatollah dead? Guys, I should have done a poll. Too late for a poll. Destabilization in Iran means mass immigration to EU, destabilizing democracies and conservative parties win next elections, maybe. Probably. I haven't heard much of EU's response. But I know for a fact this is happening. Iranians are cheering right now in many nations. They are. That's a fact. Key post. Breaking. Putin has agreed to accept U.S. security guarantees for Ukraine, Zelensky's office chief Budanov said. Budanov added that the Russian army is not preparing to advance on Kyiv at this time. What is this? What is this? He also expressed confidence in the prospects of peace talks, and the issue of demilitarized zones has already been resolved. I don't follow them. They're concerning. There's something. That might be a whole nother stream later. Alright guys. That's all I got for you. Next 24 or 48 hours. I'm busy tonight. If there's new news, we'll go breaking. If not, please come over and join me on some video games. I'll probably be on all week. Late night. If you guys are having problems sleeping tonight, they pull it over. I don't know why it hates that. There we go. At the Chunger Games. We played a little bit with Mark the other night too. Had some fun on how's that game? Division 2.
Discord, it's a switcher. There's a microphone in the bottom, and you just switch it over to your microphone.
Was having some fun with the.
It's a chungus.
Yeah, you turn shit up with it. It's cool.
He's tearing them up.
Yeah, we were playing with Mark the other night on there. Had a lot of fun. I don't know. He's gonna do probably Resident. He's got to do Resident Evil. He was the Resident Evil stream last night was pretty dope. But I'll be over here at the Chunger Games. Probably playing some DayZ late night. Gonna get into it a little bit with our zombie apocalypse survival. Most likely, I don't know. But throw me some subs if you haven't already. Hey, Nick. Nick, are you going live? We just covered some of the reactions on the channel from around what's going on. Of course, in Iran. Now I'm plugging my video game. If you guys, the Chunger Games, throw me some subs, please, guys. Even if you don't like games, if you guys are bored and want to hang out, like I said, we'll go breaking tonight once the Strait of Hormuz pops off, because most likely it looks like the Iranian Navy is going to be sunk into the fucking earth or into the sea within the next 24 to 48 hours. Boats are already getting turned around. That'll have global destabilization. Nick Suter is live an hour, guys, in time. I don't know if I can't redirect you that early, Nick. Otherwise, I would. I apologize for that. But we're going to wait and see what happens to the Navy powers of Iran in the next 24 to 48 hours. Bell, thank you for the 10 gifteds on the way out. Appreciate the support of the channel. Guys, I think we covered everything I can with my time frame I have. I will be back on, though. Stay tuned. Thank you guys for being here. I am going to go. I'm going to go. I will talk to y'all later. Here's your outro.
They wave their flags like they own the sky, shouting loud, but they don't know why. Books untouched, their minds run dry. Truth's a stranger, they pass right by. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. They chant the words they barely know, hollow pride in a shallow show, pointing fingers where the winds don't blow, building walls where the rivers flow. Oh, false peace. If love's the seed, then let it grow, not in shadows, but where light will show. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only